and Andrew Matheson for double coverage, our Week 4 Saturday preview. Week 4, I don't know why I said it like that. That was stupid.
That's all right.
Yeah. Only 2 games, which means we'll spend 25, 30 minutes on each team.
Yeah. Look down on the length of the video to see if he's lying, by the way.
Yeah, no, seriously. Okay. Let's stop wasting time.
Okay.
Seriously. Let's start with that. There's only one prep game. There's one JC game, as there always is.
SLV's the only show in town for us.
Sure. SLV 1-3, hosting undefeated Los Altos.
Yes.
I mentioned in Friday's edition, I hate the comparative scoring game. This team beat this team, so this team beat this team. Whatever.
I love that.
But it's worth mentioning. Los Altos is coming off a win over Mills.
Booyah! 28-26 or something like that?
That sounds about right.
Yeah, it is.
And Mills beat SLV 37-7. So there's your comparative scoring, if you want to go off that.
I don't know if I'm a fan of that this time. It's a decisive 2-point victory over Mills. Mills could have won that game. I see what you're saying, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's worth mentioning.
So they have some athletes. Who else did they beat? They beat Burton.
Not Burbank.
Right. Bob Eubanks. They beat Bob Eubanks 61-0. They beat Overfelt, the powerhouse, at least in soccer, 17-12. And Mountain View, which hasn't had a good team in about 5 years, 32-14.
Any more San Jose schools you want to badmouth?
After all that bashing of Los Altos, I haven't winning. Clearly. No, I'm just kidding. SLV played a great game last week against Wattsville. It was truly exciting. They had a couple chances to win it in the final 5 minutes of the game. Didn't get it done. But there's been some progression at quarterback. It looks like their young and undersized offensive line is progressing.
Yeah.
They're battling through some injuries and youth. But Shell Johnson looked great in the backfield. And I'm really excited for when they finally do get Jared Trader into the mix and making some big catches. They gave him some looks, but it'll be interesting to see if when those two connect, this will be a different team. I guarantee it.
Sure, and we talk every week about how youthful SLV is. Yes. I kind of like how they are testing themselves a little bit, though.
Yeah, they great.
I mean, Mills is no pushover. Los Altos is no pushover. I mean, these aren't slouch teams by any means. I mean, Los Altos is undefeated, so
they're
I like how. But I think we have a lot of youth coming back. Let's kind of pad the schedule a little bit, and we get some wins. They're not doing that. I like that, and they're getting experience, which they didn't have any of really for the most part coming into the season. Yeah. So kudos to them in that respect for schedule making.
If anything and everything, I can guarantee this SLV team will be prepared. Dave Petzinger is one of the most gung-ho researchers and pregame preparation guys there is out there.
Yeah.
Now, just if they can execute is a different story.
You still going to go with Los Altos, though?
I think Los Altos has a slight edge, even though they're playing on the road.
I agree. I think it's a good experienced game, though, for SLV. Final game of the night, Saturday night.
Final game of the day.
Final game of the day?
1 p.m.
It is the day, yeah. A 1 p.m. start time. Usually it's at night.
It's all right.
Cabrillo, winless, looking for their first win, 0-3. Traveling all the way to Eureka. I have no idea how far that is, so I wouldn't even mention how far away it is.
It's actually 6.5 hours.
Thank you, Jim.
By the Bird's Wing, I'm not sure so much. So that's driving MapQuest. I want to give credit.
The Bird's Wing?
Like flying.
No, I know that. I've never heard that expression.
Me neither. I kind of just made it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're playing Redwoods.
Yes.
If we neglected to mention that. 1 p.m. Redwoods is 2-2. They pass the ball.
They do.
You were going to say something?
I was just going to say Cabrillo's staying in 2 different hotels. And that's not because they have the incredibly large roster. It's just that the hotel is kind of sold out or booked. So they're having an offense stay in one hotel and a defense stay in another hotel.
Wow, so Eureka is the place to be this weekend.
Oh, yeah. Seriously.
As it always is on Saturdays.
Must have a hemp convention going on. It is right near Humboldt. But, hey, if you don't want to get any, if you want to see a good game and go buy a hemp sweater, this is probably the place to be.
Yeah.
At 1 o'clock.
There you go.
All right. Like you said, they love to pass.
They do love to pass.
Give me some data for Will Hissong.
I don't have that in front of me, but I know they've thrown a conference-leading 1,171 yards.
Yes. He's thrown for 11 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. But that's bound to happen when you throw that much, right?
Sure.
I mean, 167 attempts.
Yes.
They love to pass. Cabrillo's under the impression that, hey, they pass so well, maybe they want to work on their run game against us.
Yeah.
I wouldn't count on it.
No.
I think they're going to air it out. But, their big receiver is Michael, the big Lebowski Malkowski. It's all on a ski, and it all kind of rhymes. He's very good. 492 receiving yards on 23 receptions with 4 touchdowns. They also have 4 guys with 100-plus receiving yards.
But enough about the Redwoods.
Let's talk about your Seahawks, which is by the Bird.
As the bird flies.
Yes, Lucas Romanski and Brandon Lane will probably both see action.
The Big Lebowski Romansky.
That's right. Brandon Ski Lane Ski is going to have a good game. So is Luke Romansky.
Sure.
They'll both see time.
Yeah.
Romansky finished that game last week.
Yeah, he played pretty much all of the second half. He got injured with like 3 or 4 plays to go, came out for 1 play. Lane came in, and then he finished the game for the last 2 plays.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, in my story, I thought Lane had thrown the last pass.
It's all right.
Because I was doing video, and I was touting and tweeting and doing all our social media things.
I messed up Zeke Asornio's name.
Yeah, you did.
1 for 1. We're both
several
horrible.
times, actually.
Not sure if John Moore is going to play. He got injured last week. Great receiver.
Yeah, midway through the third quarter, had an outstanding game nonetheless, though. But he's a big asset to their offense.
Cal Heskett and Yoshio Hasagawa are also studs in the receiving core. But hey, the Seahawks ran the ball a little bit again last week, so
a little bit with Fabian Serrano, and he had a pretty good game. When Lane, and you could see it when Lane and Romansky were kind of able to stretch the field a little bit downfield, the holes opened up for Serrano.
Yeah.
That's how it's supposed to work. But it was really kind of very obvious how how well it worked once Romansky and Lane found
hand in hand
yards downfield. Yeah.
If you could pass well, the run game gets better, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So that's not a surprise. The surprise was how much they came back in the second half. If they could carry that momentum into this game.
Yep.
But after a 6.5-hour drive, granted they are going to stay overnight there. I don't know if they're going to come up fired up, and I haven't seen anything. I've been wrong on my Cabrillo picks all season. Mm-hmm. I've got to go with, the old Redwoods.
Okay.
I
saw them last week. I liked the way they played in the second half. Depending on the injuries, John Moore and stuff like that. But just based on the offensive production, which we hadn't seen this season from Cabrillo out of that second half. I mean, hey, last season they were 0-2 and they went to Mendocino and got their first win. That was
and they hung with Dianza for a half.
Yeah.
Who's number 7 in the state. Maybe a little overranked, but they hung with them.
Yeah.
This isn't a bad Cabrillo team.
No.
But I'm still
you're gonna go. I like Cabrillo. I think this is their win. I think
you're probably right.
Building off that Mendocino, they went to Mendocino and got the win. I think they're gonna go to Eureka and take it to the Redwoods. Eureka. That does it. All 2 games in the books. It only took us 20.5 minutes.
Closing time.
Open. Okay. That's all of our show for our Saturday edition. There is a Friday edition as well for Week 4 previews.
I know who.
If you have a team on Friday that you want to check out,
wants to take me home.
Otherwise, you can check us out online. We're on Twitter. We're on Tout. We're on Facebook. Like us on Facebook. We do like those likes.
Please. 106 likes now?
That's way more friends than I have.
Mad crazy.
Yeah. And read us online at www.santacruzsentinel.com.
Backslash football.
You are not good at spinning, dude.